Hey riders, Eric with Ride Adventures here. Also with me, a guy I wanted to introduce you to, Jeff Jones, is one of our training instructors here at our training facility in Pahrump, Nevada, just outside of Las Vegas. If you've been watching news, we opened up our training center here in Pahrump about a year ago and have been training more and more students. Our ADV 1 course and ADV 2 are available. And guys like Jeff, I wanted to introduce you to, got an incredible background in military and law enforcement and also riding motorcycles. And so maybe you could dive into that a little bit further. How'd you find us in the first place? I'm trying to remember
I found you on the internet where you're talking about your all the gear you wear. It's a pretty good video. I remember that. Jump over your boots, jump out of your boots.
That's right.
That's kind of fun.
Yeah, that's right.
So then you're looking for instructors, and so I put my name in the hat, and here I am.
You've been riding bikes for
Most of my life, as far as dirt bikes since I was a kid, and street bikes through high school, and then a little bit in the military, and then I got out and had a long period where I didn't ride because family kind of thing, but then I got back into it after that. So I've been riding probably, not quite daily, but weekly for probably 8 years now. And then I got into the adventure bike stuff here about 4 years ago.
So like plenty of time in the dirt, I can see.
Oh, absolutely, because we live in Southern Nevada, so everywhere you look is off-road.
You maybe heard me say before, folks, here, it's like we have not only our training facility here, but the rental bikes that, you can bring your own bike or rent one of ours. And then to the point we just made, we are surrounded by incredible riding. Right here in Pahrump, you got almost a 340-degree view around us of mountain range, a curtain of mountain range right around us here. And then BVR routes on each side, Death Valley National Park just to the west. You got all the national parks in southern Utah within reasonable proximity and just surrounded by great riding and the kind of weather to be able to do it on a almost year-round basis. So Jeff's been training a couple years with us now. Correct. For us. And I want to check, is there one thing you think or you wish that riders knew before they showed up for this? Or
just the fact that don't be intimidated for not knowing stuff, because it's a very basic class, and we could take the most basic person and bring them up to a good level, or we'll take the more intermediate person up to the next level. So it's good for everybody. And if they just came here with a good attitude and a willing and winning attitude, I think we could get them where they need to be as far as that goes. Being in shape would be great, but a lot of people aren't in shape. So don't let that intimidate you. And don't let that stop you from coming.
Yeah, we've said this in other videos a few times now too, just to keep in mind what kind of conditioning you are in before a weekend like that. Not that you have to go become super fit or anything like that, but even just little things to make sure you're not going right from the couch to your adventure motorcycle training experience.
Right, and it's going to make it more enjoyable and keep you from getting hurt if the better shape that you're in.
Better chance you get more out of the full weekend, or in some cases, it's not just weekend training, by the way. Keep watching our website. We're about to start announcing our coach and ride packages, where instead of coming in for just 2 days of on-bike training, it's going to be sort of a hybrid of the different types of training we already do. So like the first day is going to be on the training facility, doing the obstacles, doing skills and body position, and doing the type of training that we already do as part of our ADV 1 course. We're looking at day 2 being spent mostly on the off-bike topic, which is our ARC course, ARC, Adventure Ready course we call it, which is teaching you a lot of things you might need to do off the bike, like fixing flats or how to navigate, or any kind of trail side fixes and considerations that are going to help make you self-sufficient out there once you're on the road. And then so we're on the trails, and then the continuation of that coach and ride package is going to be, again, kind of an out and back from here in Pahrump to get a few days of riding in to put all that experience and knowledge together. We're trying to make self-sufficient riders so you can get out there and explore more of the world. Those who don't want to be on their own. Or so Jeff could not only be one of your instructors here at the facility, but if you guys end up on a 2 or 3 day camping expedition together, there are a lot worse guys you could have with you.
So Jeff, talk a little bit about your experience riding adventure bikes. Like, what are the highlights of things you've done?
As far as background goes, I was in the military for 4 years and didn't do any motorcycling or off-road stuff there. It was all basically in the ocean type of stuff. But when I got into the Marshal service, we had a special operations team, and part of that team we had to be on KLRs, and we also had to be on ATVs to patrol certain perimeters of different areas that we had to protect. That was very valuable, and that was kind of my first introduction into those kind of bikes, those dual sport type of things. And it was very effective because we could cover a lot of ground and a lot of areas where vehicles couldn't get to. Of course, we did at night for night vision, those kind of things. So very capable machines, and that's where I kind of fell in love with that aspect of motorcycling and off-roading. As far as the training goes, here locally, riding a lot. Of course, riding with all the instructors here, pushing each other, those kind of things. Multiple rallies, different terrains, of course, different weather, and also different schools. I've been to a couple different schools, and I've been to this particular class numerous times, both ADV one and the follow-ons. I learn something new every weekend, so it's been a lot of fun.
What about your trips, though? You've done some trips in the last year or so.
Yes, I did. Last year, I did two BDRs. I did Washington, north to south, and then back to back, I did Idaho from south to north. The first BDR, I had 7 guys. 2 of them got hurt. One left out of a mechanical because it's a motorcycle. And then the second one, we finished with 4 on the Washington. We started with 3 on the Idaho, and we finished all 3 of us finished. And so we camped every night, 13 days on the motorcycle. Everything worked good. As far as we were prepared, of course, bike prep is a big thing. Didn't have any issues with the bike, no flat tires, no nothing. We got chased out of certain areas from fires, but that was about it.
Even though you're a coach, instructor, you've actually made some friends for the program and rode with them on the Oregon BDR, right?
That's correct. It was a Washington BDR, but yes, they came to the class, and they invited me to go to the Giant Loop rally, which I did with them, and then from there we went to BDR. And I'm going to actually see all those guys again this year. I'm going to go back up here in May, and we're going to go get together again for another ride.
It's a cool thing that keeps happening. Our training events are great opportunities to meet other riders and our instructors and find people to ride with. Seems to think that's a lacking opportunity out there for a lot of single and solo riders in the world to get to know who they can ride with. And so sometimes you meet someone at a training experience and you find out that you have next November available and you both want to do the same trip somewhere in the world anyway. And so these things keep falling together for folks.
Eric, the new program, the Coach and Ride, is going to be more camping based, correct? Instead of just skill stuff?
We'll probably evolve to offer a version of each where folks who don't want to camp will also have an option to stay in hotels if we do overnighters and things. But yeah, isn't that such a part of the term self-sufficient, I think? Not just being able to, manage your bike for a trip and keep yourself going with regards to flat tires or whatever goes on, but that opportunity to be out under the stars and totally remote and totally independent, totally self-sufficient. Food, the water, one of the kinds of things you're going to need to do and factor in and navigation and all that. And so guys with such a background and experience already are going to be helpful in getting riders familiar with all those scenarios.
And Jeff, when you met the guys that came through our program, did you see a difference in their riding from when they came through the program versus meeting them later and actually completing a BDR after our program?
Well, absolutely, because they come to our training, they learn the fundamentals, and then they apply them, over time. And then by the time we get to the BDR, they have all that, time on the bike, TOB, and be able to apply those skills that they learned at their training. So it worked out good, and we were able to have some long days on the bike, which was good. And they were all accomplished riders.
Jeff, do you have kind of a philosophy you use when you're training our students?
Lecture is the worst, is not the least effective training method. So we like to tell them what they're going to do, and then we show them what they're going to do through demos. And then we talk about the most common mistakes happens, and then we get the repetitions in. So absolutely, sir. The more repetitions, the better. And then as they go through the skills and they kind of master the skills, we'll throw something else at it. They have to slow down, or they have to go through the course backwards kind of bit. Or just constantly keep them off the comfort zone type of thing. So just keep throwing things at them, and then they get better over time.
Repetition, and each of these different training features we have at both this training facility and the one up in Oregon, and by the end of the day, hopefully putting them all together in a circuit. Right.
Jeff, do you have kind of a pet peeve or something that's you like to really work on that you see folks come in with? Is there a bad habit that you've seen over and over again that maybe you could talk about a little bit?
Well, the bad habits, I think, are the visual horizon. We always talk about during the classes, high visual horizon. That's a big thing, because when you're on a motorcycle, you're a target. So you have to be able to have your head on a swivel at all times. What I mean by that is people seem to watch the ground in front of them versus watch what's coming. They're looking at the present versus the future. So looking through corners, looking for obstacles, looking for other riders, kids on bikes, those kind of things, or even other traffic, other cars. So even though you emergency braked, you stop, but you may have to take off again because something else is coming at you. So that's probably the biggest thing that I see basic riders do is they come in here and they're so focused on what's happening now versus what's happening in the future.
I would concur. Having been to many of our training events in both Oregon and here in Nevada and many other trainings elsewhere, the most common seeing riders trying to do tight turns and they're looking right down in front of them instead of taking in the big picture of what it is they're supposed to be doing, looking around the turn or keeping that high visual horizon, like Jeff said. Very rare is it ever good to be on your bike looking down or right past the front of your tire like that. You really want to be up and out.
And if you look at the professional riders, which I'm not a professional rider, but what they have over us is they've mastered the fundamentals, and the fundamentals are high visual horizon, balance, and traction. So they have that mastered. So that's what separates them from everybody else.
Comes with time and experience and having feedback from instructors to remind you.
Exactly.
They don't notice it sometimes. It's just, how can you?
No, it's a natural thing.
Yeah.
It's a natural.
Processing so much on a given day, and you need a reminder. Get that job.
Jeff has actually been our test dummy about bringing someone in who did not have an M1 endorsement, motorcycle endorsement, and also had no experience with motorcycles, period.
Yes. That went fantastic. She showed up with, like I said, the only experience she had on a motorcycle was riding on her boyfriend's motorcycle 20 years ago. Her boyfriend now, maybe husband, I'm not sure, but they were riding together and he wanted to, because they do two up, but she wanted her own bike and she didn't want to spend a lot of money up front before they determined whether, she's going to like it or not. So I went from holding the clutch for her, bringing it all the way out to the end of the day. She was riding on her own, going up hills, doing all the figure eights, doing all the patterns, going through rocks, going through sand, all that kind of stuff. And when she left, they were going to stop in Mesquite, matter of fact, to pick up a new bike for her.
All right.
She was that excited.
So the answer is yes.
Yes.
Good to continue with.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
And to go from having never ridden to
she did bicycles.
deciding to buy a
Bicycles to motorcycles just in one day. And she did fantastic.
And if I can reiterate, that is definitely a mission of Ride Adventures, is that anybody who wants to or has considered or is curious about where you can go on these machines, I think that's what we are meant to do, is to help get you trained if you need that kind of training. If you don't have the background for it, get yourself comfortable and ready to go do whatever. Our website is full of these riding opportunities, and almost everyone I talk to wants to do every one of them everywhere around the world. But in order to do that, of course, you have to have the right skill set and confidence and a way to make sure that you're completing these trips safely. Folks, thanks for watching. That again from Jeff Jones and Eric Lang. We're here as Ride Adventures at our training center in Pahrump, Nevada, and available online. If you have questions, want to get feedback on whether or not you're right for one of these courses or just sign up, it's all just right there and available for you.